Welcome back to yet another episode of Accidentally Furry, where I wanna take a look at things that made us what we are today, furries. And today I wanted to point fingers on Capcom again. This time I wanted to take a look at Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter has accompanied me since the early 2010s. I tried it on the Wii and hated it. Yes, I disliked Monster Hunter Tri. But then, a few years later, I tried it on the PS Vita. I tried Monster Hunter 2 and I loved it. I loved every hour of it. Couldn't stop Monster Hunter ever since. I bought it on the 3DS, on the Switch, on the PC, and now we're at Rise. So yeah, turns out not playing with the Wii remote absolutely helps. Monster Hunter is, for those who don't know, basically a boss rush game. You're in the hub, you take a quest, you kill the big bad monster, return and repeat. In between hunts, you upgrade your weaponry and armor with the monster parts that you have acquired during the hunt. In such a simple game, you need to make 100% sure that your bosses are as amazing as can be, with unique designs, fun fights and challenges to look forward to. And these unique designs is what pulls a lot of us furries in. And today, we're going to take a look at my favorites. There's so many monsters, I couldn't list them all. But, I wanted to talk about at least 10 or so. This is not a top 10, so we're not doing these in any particular order. But here goes the Nagakuga. The Nagakuga is very, very famous among furries. Just take a look at VR chat. There's so many Nagakuga avatars running around. And I can absolutely see why. The Nagakuga is basically a dragon panther hybrid thing, and it looks a little bit like Toothless from How to Tame Your Dragon. It was the flagship monster of Monster Hunter Freedom Unite on the PSP, which doesn't really mean that it was the best, strongest monster in the game, but it was on the cover, that's cool. It had a story relevance, that's why it was on the cover. Its speed can be devastating when you hunt it for the first time, but it's so rewarding to hunt one. When it's angry, his eyes start glowing red, which looks awesome. It can also cling on trees and walls to attack from there and use its wings as blades, which is pretty cool. The Zynorgre. The Zynorgre is one of my favorites, and it too was a flagship monster, but not in the West, unfortunately. The Zynorgre was the flagship monster of Monster Hunter Portable 3rd, which was only released in Japan in the late 2010s for the PSP, and then later re-released for the PS3. The Zynorgre is a big wolf. When it gets mad, it'll charge up its fur on its back and attack with electric projectiles, so bring some anti-lightning armor. The Mizutsune. I haven't fought the Mizutsune until Rise, but it was introduced in Monster Hunter Generations. I love the fight with the Mizutsune. I love it so much. Its mechanics with the soapy bubbles are very interesting. The hunter gets slippery feet, and then when trying to run, he'll slide on the ground. So yeah, that's fun and unique. It can be quite hard to combat it though, because it can not only affect the hunter with the slippery feet, it can also afflict itself with the slippery feet and use these to slide all across the map, so you have to do your best to keep up. However, its design is really beautiful. The Mizutsune is a elegant big leviathan dragon thing, and honestly I think it's pretty cute. But it wasn't a flagship monster per se. It was a very important monster in Generations. Generations had 4 towns, and each town had their own important monster, basically their own flagship. And the Mizutsune was the flagship of one of these villages. Next up is the Lagombi. Not as fierce and powerful as the others, but I like the Lagombi a lot. The Lagombi. Lagombis are not as powerful or fierce as the other ones on the list, but I like the Lagombi a lot. And it slides across the snow fields on its tummy. That's really adorable. It throws snowballs on the hunter, which can slow him down immensely, and then use that to attack him. Overall, I think the Lagombi is an easier monster, but I still like it. It's heckin' cute. Bunui. Next up, the Paolumu. The Paolumu is really cute. Even its name sounds round. It's a very big puffball. It looks a little bit like a mouse bat wyvern thing that sucks in air in a little air bag in its throat and then floats through the air. That's why it's so puffy and round. Without sucking in the air, the Paolumu looks more like a bat rather than a mouse. But nonetheless, it's cute, very cute, heckin' cute, adorable. The Legiana. I don't really know how the Legiana got here, to be honest. It is very similar to the other flying wyverns like the Rathalos or the Raytheon. I think its design puts the Legiana far above the Rathalos though. I mean, don't get me wrong, Rathalos is cool, but just look at the design of the Legiana. Its beige looking belly and then the blue looking coat, I wanna say. It looks a bit like a coat. Makes the Legiana look amazing. It kind of looks like a blue jay. The markings on its back and everything. That's pretty cool. I don't really recall its fight in World. Basically, it's an ice Rathalos, I think. But I think we need more bird-like wyverns that aren't walking birds like the Kuluyaku, the Kurupeko, or the Kutku. Give me more burbs. The Tobikadachi! I love saying the name. Like, really, just say the name like that. The Tobikadachi! It's so fun to say. Tobikadachi is also an electric boy, like the Zynogra. Especially with its long floofy tail, the Tobikadachi looks like a flying squirrel mixed with a snake, I think. The Tobikadachi will rub its fur against things to charge itself up with static electricity, similar to the Zynogra. It can cling to trees and attack from there, similar to the Nagakuga. And both are on this list, so yeah, the Tobikadachi belongs here. The fight with the Tobikadachi is awesome, and the equipment you get out of it looks awesome as well. Barioth. Barioth is a saber-tooth tiger dragon thing, and I love him. He looks a bit like a Nagakuga who had too many frosted flakes and turned into a little kitty. The Barioth can be frustrating to me. They're so damn quick and can hit so damn hard. I always compare the Barioth to the Tigrex, even though a Tigrex is even quicker and hits even harder than the Barioth. But I prefer the Barioth, and I love the kitty cat. The Odogaron and the Lunagaron. I put both of them in here because, well, they're basically the same monster, almost. Both are canines. They look like wolf wyvern things. But the Odogaron looks a little more, well, it doesn't look like it has skin. It looks like it's only flesh. Like someone took its skin and tore it right off. It lives in the Rotten Vale where you first encounter it. As the name suggests, everything down there is rotten. There's a lot of poisonous gas, and the Odogaron is one of the apex predators down there. Just look at it. I mean, damn, this creature is metal. It has 10 claws on each limb. Honestly, it kind of looks like a cryptid, like a chupacabra or so. That's pretty metal though, that's really cool. Its fight can be really tough because it can make you bleed and does so frequently. And the Rotten Vale isn't the most hospitable zone that the hunter can be in. Its cousin, the Lunagaron, doesn't really look as metal as the Odogaron. However, I actually prefer the design of the Lunagaron. It looks a lot like Fenrir from Nordic mythology. I haven't fought it yet, so I can't really say much about its fight, but I love the design so damn much. I don't know if they count or not, but I just put them in here as an honorable mention of sorts. I love the canine and the felines. I love them so much. Feline are monsters that you can encounter in the wild. They tend to sneak up on the hunter and try to steal from him. But friendly felines, the Palico, can be vital partners in combat. You can train them, they learn from you, and they can heal you in battle. They're so cute and useful. The canine have been added in Monster Hunter Rise. And I don't think you can encounter them in the wild. Can you? I don't think so. They're basically doggos, And you can ride them. You can ride on their backs and even sharpen your weapon on there. They also help you in fights and are just the best doggo. They're good boyos. Such a good dog. And last but not least, I wanted to talk about a Elder Dragon, my favorite Elder Dragon. The Kushala Daora. Kushala Daora is one of my favorites ever since I fought him in Monster Hunter 2 on the PSP. And I think before I talk about the Kushala Daora, I need to explain a little bit about what an Elder Dragon is and what makes an Elder Dragon an Elder Dragon. Basically, an Elder Dragon is a monster that doesn't care about the ecosystem of a place. They just appear, wreck shit and leave. They just exist. They just live wherever they want. They don't care for nature. They don't care for hunters. They just come, eat and go. Or come, wreak havoc and go. And they don't even care about the rest of the biology in the game. In Monster Hunter, you usually see monsters with 4 limbs at maximum. They either have 4 legs, or hind legs and wings, or hind legs and arms. However, Elder Dragons don't really need to attend to these rules. There are Elder Dragons that have kinda no limbs. They just float, I think. There are Elder Dragons who have 4 limbs. There are Elder Dragons who have 6 limbs. And I also kinda love that about them too. But now let's get back to the Kushala Daora. The Kushala Daora has a metallic looking skin or scales. It controls winds and can generate wind so strong that it acts as a barrier, a tornado wall. And the wall only becomes stronger the angrier the Kushala Daora becomes. I love the design of the Kushala Daora and I love the fight of the Kushala Daora. That's why it's my favorite Elder Dragon. And it looks majestic too. Well, that's basically it for this video. I still need to play the Monster Hunter Rise add-on. I have recently bought Monster Hunter Sunbreak and, well, I kinda started a new game for Monster Hunter Rise. Anyway, that's it for this video. If I keep going this way, maybe someday I will prove that Capcom is led by furries. We're getting there. We're 2 franchises in and there's many more to go. See you next time. Bye! Bye!